look and see if
Sure.
testing, testing still looks like it's there. I don't know which speaker. Can 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 you hear us?
Um, testing, testing. Can anyone hear us? Yes.
I think live.
We're alive. We're alive and live. Two very good things. What a morning.
Guess I need to unmute.
What a morning. I guess I need to turn this
So you're gonna have to chit chat while I'm doing this.
down. All right, everyone. These, do you ever have these days too? I think we all have these days, especially the more and more we rely on technology. And when technology glitches and it's out of our control, like what do you do? Right? Like it's so that's that's been our day.
So I think the sound must be on another speaker. I don't know which one it's on.
I can hear it too.
So I'm just at everyone, and then we'll start.
So we made it. Or late, but not for lack of trying to be here on time. Oh, everyone give a round of applause to Stephen for being able to think on his feet and work through some major like frustrations to be able to stay level headed enough to get us up and running. We had issues with Facebook and Chrome and Safari, like when something doesn't work, you try to delete it and reinstall it, turn your computer off, turn it back on, and, try it on different browsers.
So now we're on
We're on
Edge.
Edge. It's working on Edge. And it wasn't just one app, it was multiple apps that weren't working for us. So it was very, very stressful.
I gotta find that sound. So you're just gonna
Is
have to
it
bear
on
with
that?
me.
Is it on that?
No, this is off.
Is it off?
So it's somewhere else. So just bear with me. I'm making the last change, and then we'll get into it.
This last week of June, how are you guys doing? Let's check in.
Oh, by the way, we're not doing news next week. So
Well, I was gonna get to
no, you
that.
don't.
Yeah,
It's the ear, it's the headphones.
it's a microphone, the headphones.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we just put them on? I feel like someone's messing with us. Who's messing with us? There's sound coming from all over the place.
Okay,
Or I think we're
we're done.
I think we're here. I think we have it all together. Good job, Steven. Good job. That was hard work. Hard work.
All right. So you can follow along at news.3pisquared.com. And I have a presentation even made up. This. week, and I was on time. But as April said, what are you going to do when Chrome stops working and then the internet stops working, and then when you open Chrome again, um, it doesn't show all the words or buttons. And so I deleted the app and downloaded it again, and it did the same thing. And then I was like, okay, well, we'll use a Riverside app because I'll just use it. And then in order to make it go live, you have to go into settings, and well, settings opens up Google Chrome. So that wasn't working. So I had to download Edge. Edge is what we're using right now, and it saved the day. So yeah, that's where we're at. Um, okay,
I'm
so
sure everyone's had a day like this to some extent, right? With technology. Ugh. Give us your stories. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know how you've been.
so I may have to quit Safari the Edge in order to do this. So we may just not be able to share a screen.
Let's just not share a screen
Yeah,
today.
I'm gonna try it and see, but I'm
Mm.
pretty sure that it's going to say you have to quit the app in order um, to allow this. So just give me 1 second. I don't even see Edge.
Is anyone else on the edge of their seat? So
Yeah. So
we're just going to not have the presentation today, and I'm
oh,
going
hold on. Maybe
to vouch that there is a presentation. What in the world?
all right. So let's yeah. So we're just gonna read it.
Just going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just read it to you. We'll
Yep.
just talk about it.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right, today's news. Today is June 23rd. Happy June 23rd, everyone. This is our key. This is our sign that we are following the right choice of taking next week's news broadcast off. We will not be here on June 30th at our news location and at our news broadcast. And this is probably, we're taking most of July off, but we were planning on continuing our news broadcast. We'll still be dropping new podcast every Thursday. Um, yeah. All right. So on to our articles for today. Anyone ready? Anyone ready for some news articles? Yes, we are ready, they say. Deep breath.
Okay.
The Autism Data Science Initiative. Why it matters for ABA providers and the future of autism care. So here's our story. It's story time, ladies and gentlemen. The Autism Data Science Initiative from the NIH represents a 50 million investment in understanding autism by linking massive data sets, harnessing AI, and engaging the autism community. For ABA providers, this is a signal. Data science and real world outcomes are now front and center in the national research agenda. The new initiative focuses on exploring the causes of autism, tracking changes in prevalence, and finding what interventions actually work, using real life clinical data, not just theory. ABA practices that understand, use, and even help contribute to this data revolution will be better positioned to meet payer, policy, and client demands in the years ahead. All right, the key points. NIH is investing heavily in autism data science to accelerate research and care outcomes. The initiative claims to integrate genetic, clinical, and behavioral data to reveal what drives autism prevalence. Community input, including people with lived experience, is required for all funded projects. Analysis will focus on both causes of autism and which interventions actually deliver real world results. Data transparency, privacy, and cross sector collaboration are central themes. I've heard a lot especially in autism social media platforms, especially those adults with autism. A lot of people don't like this.
Yeah.
A lot of people are, I want to say, scared by this,
Yep.
and are unsure in the true intention. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's hard to know for certain, right? I know a lot of people are concerned about all this data being in one place. We've spoken about this before, and some states are already tracking this data already. So as far as the NIH is concerned, they're like, we just want it so everyone has access to it, and we can be more open and transparent and get some data on what is actually going on. So hopefully, um, we can take them at their word, but you know, I don't know that the government in general, regardless of your politics, is a trustworthy partner. So it's difficult, right? It's difficult to know for sure that this will be used for good and not evil. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know.
Well, there's recommendations for providers, or our
Mm-hmm.
recommendations. I'm assuming.
Yep.
Uh, so, okay, so here's what we say to do. Stay informed about developments in autism research and national data science trends. Like, it's important to know what's going on, right? To stay informed. And use outcome data in your own practice to guide clinical decisions and payer discussions. That's okay. What might that look like even for outcome data in your own practice? Like, what types of things might you measure to guide clinical decisions and payer discussions? I know we'll like tracking our like quality KPIs and the the progress of our learners.
Yeah, I just think that this again, we're looking at multiple states. Medicaids are starting to question the services that are being provided. There's calls that fraud is happening. Whether those are true or not, I don't know, right? So I think that something again, accreditation, this may be the thing that forces accreditation, right? Is this, oh well, these are best practices, and so we know that these services need this, and I think that that may be something that they're looking, because they are looking to cut Medicaid at the federal level, right? If this bill does pass, so yeah, I think it's just something you want to make sure that you have things in place that you can prove that you're providing medically necessary treatment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. It's important. And other things that you can do, you can engage in your community driven research projects where possible. And I feel like your state organization, your state ABA organization would be a great point of contact to reach out to your state's organization
Yep.
and say, "Hey, what research projects are available or going on in our state? What are we tracking? What projects are going on?" What I do, I feel like on your state level, you should really be involved, and of course, your community level too. But I think for this, your state level organization will have the the information on what research projects are going on. Invest in tools and systems that help track treatment outcomes and data privacy. So, HIPAA um, is important, right? And making sure that all of your electronic systems are safe. Um, we have a HIPAA research on staff with us, and so if you want to reach out for more information, just feel free to reach out. Um, Prepare for a future where payers, policymakers, and families expect transparent, data-backed care. So if we're not already doing that, how can we do that? So I think that part of starting a business, right? And coming in and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to provide quality care. I'm going to have ethical services. I'm doing things different. Here are my values. Here's our mission here at said company. Um, and then those first 2 to 3 years are wild, 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 wild. We're wearing many hats. We at some point are just surviving. So I think it's important of that initial planning. Um, and if it wasn't part of your initial planning, it would be worth stopping, blocking some time off on your calendar to start looking into this to see, okay, this is super important. This is something that's worth pausing and getting at least one item in place, um, one KPI in place, one, don't go in, you don't have to do it all, but just start getting it started. How are we tracking? How are we being transparent? What are our communication practices to our staff? What are our communication practices to our families? And if we can't answer that, then that's that's a good first step. And then if we can answer that, then we can ask more for like further questions, like why questions, right? And how questions. And are we sharing, are we being transparent enough? It doesn't mean you have to go out and tell them every tiny detail, but what is important to share and to communicate, um, especially within our data collection.
All right.
All right,
Next one.
next one.
And you can follow along at news.3pisquared.com. All the stories are up.
Florida's sweeping autism law, what it means for families, ABA providers, and the future of autism services. So, story time. Florida's new autism law, signed by Governor DeSantis in May 2025, is the largest overhaul of autism policy in the state's history. It expands funding for early intervention, increases school based support, and boosts insurance requirements for ABA and related therapies. For families, this means more access to evaluation and services. For ABA providers, new mandates and new opportunities. That's a very bright and sunshiny way of looking at it, are on the horizon. With the state setting the stage for greater accountability and transparency in autism care, as Florida's law is watched by other states, it could spark national changes in how autism services are delivered and funded. So, the key points within this article are the law increases funding for early detection and intervention for children with autism. This is key. I mean, we all know how important early detection is and getting services starting as soon as possible. Um, too many kids are may have the early detection, or but then it takes them years to get the diagnosis, or it takes them years to get through a waiting list.
Mhm.
I think some of those early kids get services a little quicker though if they're not in school,
Right.
because there are those morning sessions that everyone's going for.
Right.
Expands insurance coverage and access to ABA and related therapies. Sets new accountability standards for schools and providers, including required reporting and transparency. I see a theme here. See a theme. um, Prioritizes family involvement and reduces wait times for evaluations. Seen as a model for other states considering reform to autism service delivery. I mean, all of these sound amazing. What's the community like? Have you heard
Yeah, I mean
from?
the feedback seems to be really good. That they're happy with the law. Some people are saying it didn't go far enough, obviously, but I think for the vast majority of the ones that I read, it seemed like it was positive. Especially, I believe the big thing was the more resources for evaluations.
Mhm.
It seems to be the biggest part of this. I didn't read the law. Like I don't know exactly what is what it includes and it doesn't.
Mhm.
I just read a few articles.
Is there a link to the law within the?
I think it just goes through the major articles, but I assume that through the major articles you can get there. But I can look and see.
It's okay. We can always like tag it in later. I don't want to break anything by clicking on buttons. We're doing well.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Florida.
No, these are just
Just press
yeah,
releases.
yeah.
Okay, I was just curious.
Hmm.
All right, so what can you do as a provider? Our recommendations are to review and update your intake, reporting, and insurance billing practices to comply with the new law. Train your team on the expanded rights and services now available to families. Foster close collaboration with schools and medical providers for seamless transitions. Monitor policy updates. Other states may soon follow Florida's example, and position your practice as a leader in ethical, evidence based autism care to attract and retain families. I think all of these things are important to do always,
Hmm.
but especially during a big change like this. Taking those pieces from the new law and deciding what do we need to update within our intake reporting and insurance billing practices. Um, we will be sending out updates, but probably not for a while because we just had an update for our handbooks not that long ago. So, go ahead and look that up and start the work to see what you need to do. And even if you're not, as we talk about here, even if you're not in Florida,
Hmm.
this is a great opportunity to start looking. So, do you think accreditation is going to be tied to this at
I
all?
mean,
Was
they
that
didn't
a
mention it, but again, I think accreditation is going to happen regardless. I just think that this is coming. It's only a matter of time at this point.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so those of you in Florida, reach out, let us know how things are going,
Yep.
let us know how, what barriers are in place, what's working for you, what's not working for you. If we can help in any way, just let us know. Um, it'll be interesting to follow this and see how things go.
Hmm. All right. Last story.
Oh, we have a third one?
Hmm.
I thought we only had two today.
No.
This one, I don't like this one. Um, I'm gonna have to sneeze. Excuse me.
Bless you. Bless you.
Oh my goodness. I apologize for those big sneezes. Okay. Ransomware. Maybe I'm allergic. Ransomware and ABA.
So can I pause you for a second? So the reason
Mm,
why I did this story was because I believe it's been 2 out of the last 3 weeks we talked about ransomware. And so rather than scare you all with ransomware, this is a more of a how to, what are the best practices that you can do um, to prevent ransomware.
I love that.
Hmm.
Thank you for helping us with that. Sometimes it's easy just to stick our head in the sand and
Hmm.
and just like la 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 la. Hopefully, it's not going to happen to me. But um, having a plan and being educated can actually help decrease some anxiety around something like this. So, ransomware and ABA, what it looks like, how to prevent it, and smarter email security. So, the story ransomware attacks aren't just targeting big healthcare systems. ABA practices of all sizes are at risk, especially as more providers move to cloud billing, scheduling, and record keeping. Recent settlements and breach reports show that one wrong click can lock you out of your data, expose client information, and trigger expensive legal action. The most common root causes weak password policies, staff falling for phishing emails, and missing business associate agreements with vendors. Tools like external email tags and subject lines in Outlook and Google Workspace can help your team spot spoofed emails before disaster strikes. So, some key points here ransomware usually starts with a phishing email or malware laden link. So, I think most everyone understands what phishing emails are,
Hmm.
but just in case they don't, it's just kind of like a fake email that has some link that they're trying to get you to click on. Like
Hmm.
sometimes they'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you have a parking ticket," or and one that I've seen is we have to verify something for your package delivery,
Right.
and you're like, hold on a minute, I did like what?
Right.
But if you're not taking one that I had was like uh, a Mexican restaurant, and it said something about it. outstanding invoice or
Yeah, there's
something.
some weird. Yeah, there's definitely weird ones. I think they're just kind of doing some A/B testing, right? Like see
Right.
what.
But you know what happens though is if you're busy
Mm-hmm.
and you're rushing and you're like, oh gosh, and a lot
An
of them,
invoice.
well, and a lot of them like either pique interest,
Mm-hmm.
curiosity, or like anxiety. I think they
Mm-hmm.
probably are like, let's go for the things like parking
Yep.
tickets
Yep.
or, outstanding, you owe us money,
Mm-hmm.
or, oh, you're getting a package. Like these are things that are going to like really elicit that response, right? So just taking that pause, taking that breath and looking at it. And I know there's been multiple times where I look at something and I'm like, if that has a link, I've kind of trained myself not to just click on the link.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many times where I come to Steven and I show him this. I'm like, is like I shouldn't click on this, right? And he'll read it and he'll be like, yeah, don't touch, just delete that. And so, so that's important. Check in with someone else, right? If
Right.
you're not sure. Some more key points. Missing or outdated BAAs put practices at a huge risk during a breach. And we've talked about this a lot, but BAAs are a legal document that can protect you in certain,
I mean, they're required in
they're,
HIPAA,
they're
right?
required.
Yeah. So any business associates that you work with, so a business associate would be someone that has access to your protected health information, your client's protected health information. So this could be an email provider, could be
What
website,
about
depending.
software, practice software management?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
anything like that. Anything that's they have control or they store, have access to. PHI could be an attorney, it could be an accountant. If they have access to the PHI, it really, yeah. So um, the they will ding you. This is just a known thing for missing or outdated BAAs.
Okay.
No.
So, more key points: cyber insurance and expert led risk assessments are essential safeguards. However, these shouldn't be like thousands and thousands of
No,
dollars.
they shouldn't.
These should be relatively affordable.
Yes.
Real world staff training is the number one defense against ransomware. Look at that training.
Mm-hmm.
Training's important. Prevention tools like email alerts for external senders reduce human error. And maybe that pause policy. Take a pause, take a
Yeah,
breath.
this one, especially if they're kind of spoofing some a work email, right? This seeing this external sender can really, just give you a notice. Whoa, this why does it say external sender when it looks like it's coming from somebody at the office? So then you can just immediately remove those and not even open it.
All right, recommendations for providers. So, here's some things that you should put in place or that you should do. Audit all digital vendors and ensure BAAs are current and compliant. If you don't know whether you should have a BAA with a vendor,
Mm-hmm.
the first question to ask yourself is do they have any um, health information,
Yeah, do they have
right? Do
PHI,
they have
EPHI?
birth dates? Do they have social security numbers? Do they have
Names, addresses.
names and
Yeah.
addresses? And yeah,
Yep. Hmm.
then if the answer is yes, then you need a BAA. Provide hands-on scenario-based staff training about ransomware risk. Add this to your training list,
Yeah.
and not just initial onboarding, but I think this would be
Ongoing
one that you would
practices.
want to do ongoing, and you don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but just keeping it at the forefront of everyone's mind and
Hmm.
part of your practices, right? Just reminders and little practice sessions throughout. Um, Enable email tools that flag external senders and suspicious attachments, like what Stephen just said. I mean, I think probably all major email providers
I
will.
know Microsoft does. I don't know about the others, though. I assume they do.
Okay. And then schedule annual HIPAA risk assessments and cyber security reviews.
I
So,
mean, those should be done anyway. But
mhm.
again, it's just really important that you're,
Yeah,
doing some.
maybe pick a month, right? Pick a month, and that's like your HIPAA
Yeah.
month,
Yeah.
right? And you do that
Yep.
every year at minimum. Um,
And if you're not, sorry, but if you're
Yeah.
not doing a risk assessment, right? If you know, hey, I know I need to do this, but I haven't, just reach out and we can point you in the right direction and get you started.
Yeah, it's one of those things that can be really
Yep.
overwhelming and you just kind of it's easy to put off because you're not sure where to start.
Yep.
So reach out to us and we can help you to know where to start and help guide you a little bit to for it not to feel quite so overwhelming. Um all right, the last recommendation here, offer a simple, non-punitive way for staff to report suspicious emails and incidents. I mean, very similar to how I like said that I check in with Steven, right? It really could be that basic of, "Hey, I got this email. I'm not sure whether I should open it or not,
Hmm.
or I'm not sure about this link, or this seems really weird to me."
Hmm.
Um, and that being accepted as, "Oh, thanks. Like, show me more, or tell me more.
Hmm.
Thank you for," not like, "Oh, it's fine. Don't you just don't click on it," you know?
Hmm.
Like, so that you can reinforce them coming to you because even though it might just seem like a lot of extra noise, it could be a potentially a very big situation that you're preventing.
Yep. And actually, like in this story, I did link a YouTube video for setting up the external message
Oh, it
in
looks
the
like for Google
subject.
too.
Yeah, in for YouTube, and then the how to in Google's support page. So you can check those out.
That's great. That's a good resource because that's just a one more line of
Yeah,
defense to like.
it's a super quick video.
But then you have to train your staff to know, okay, when they see that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
warning,
But like
when
you have to
does it
set it up
really?
first,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
yeah, this will show you how to set it up, and then it really doesn't take all that much effort. Probably do it yourself, and then you should be able to do it yourself or have one of your staff that has admin access to your account be able to do it, and then yes, just send out an email. Say hey, you're gonna see this. So, but that can be super helpful. Just again, it just alerts everyone. Oh, okay, this is an outside email. This is what I need to do in this situation. I shouldn't be clicking on links. Blah blah blah. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. All right. So thank you so much, not only for spending part of your day with us first thing Monday morning, or those who are listening tomorrow on Tuesday as a recording plays on our podcast, on any podcast platform.
Hmm.
And thank you for your patience while we work through those technical difficulties. And hopefully your day is smooth without technical difficulties on this Monday of the last week of June. And reminder that we will not be here for news next week on June 30th, which means that on July 1st, you will not have a recording of the news. And we hope you have a great first week of July
Happy Fourth.
and happy 4th. And for a lot of you, summer's already been in the works for a few weeks. But for some of you, summer's just getting started. So happy summer. And we will see you in a couple weeks.
See you guys.